Hello everybody, this is Gabriel. So this is a trend scan coming from the higher time frame. So the month has just closed. Today is the 1st of December. And I want to focus now here with this trend scan on the higher time frames, like the quarterly, monthly, and the weekly. So the bottom three charts. So let's start with the U.S. equities here, the Dow Jones. So clearly it's in a very strong bull trend. Well, we see it. We have small consecutive green bars and only minor pullback. So price is basically sitting on top of the 8. Well, this is a sign of a strong super trend. Well, we had some congestion here. But we zoom in, we see it on the monthly. It has gone sideways for more than a year, basically 1.5 years, and this has broken out now, out of this sideways range. Well, we've got a strong bullish month that has just closed here, the month of November, and this could be the sign, and I think it is. This could be the sign that, well, the confirmation that we have actually left broken away from this sideways consolidation. There were several trials before that, like this, had broken above as well, the consolidation, well, then it dropped back, and now there was another trial that even didn't reach this level, so there was another pullback and test of the moving averages, and now we've got a swift move higher for the last couple of weeks. And having a consolidation like this is always nice, because as we are trending and there's a consolidation within a trend, well, this pattern is trend following, so we can expect a measured move. So the measured move would be this move here, right? Which is basically a doubling of the YM. So I'm expecting a doubling again of the YM, and I'm expecting it to take like the same time, right? So it's about 2 years. We might see 2 years of a very bullish phase of small printed green monthly bars for 2 years. That might double the YM. Now this is the Russell 2000 as well, the US equity index. It looks bullish too, but it's not that bullish. So we're not in a super trend here on the quarterly, but still it's bullish. We've got here as well, we've got a sideways consolidation, and this sideways consolidation, as I've mentioned that before, is a turtle pattern. So it's a strong pattern here on the weekly, and as well here, as you know, well, we can expect a measured move. So having the risk down here and then entry up there, well, that's a very small risk if you compare it to the measured move. That's about a 5 to 1. So yeah, it has broken out here as well. There's a very immediate stop run level and another one up here, the last high. And I'm expecting it to catch up. Well, it's lagging. The Russell is lagging the YMES and the Nasdaq. I'm expecting, as it has triggered now, this pattern that is actually catching up, and it might go even better than the more common indexes. Let's come to the metals here. Gold is always interesting to look at, right? So gold has been in a very strong bull market till 2011, and since then we're basically retracing. We had a big drop here, and then it's consolidating. It found a bottom, as it looks like, because we've plotted like 3 months. We've got a big green bar. So that's a good sign, because very often strong trends start with a big bar, and we have that. Well, obviously a big bar means that we're overextended from price, so we're currently retracing. So we see it here. This is the consolidation. That's a turtle pattern as well that I've called out the moment it triggered, and it's in full development mode. It has taken out those stops. Those early stops created a couple of months of good follow-through momentum, and as price gets more and more overextended, well, there's a pullback, and that's what we see right now. There was on this time frame on the daily we had a gecko pattern, but it didn't align with the higher time frames. Like we didn't with this test bar, we didn't have a touch of 21, etc. So it's nice to see when a pattern is there on the low frame, but it doesn't follow through because the other rules are not fulfilled. And that's what we see here. I'm hoping that price will actually drop down to the 1,400 level. So then it would meet with the daily 200, and as well it meets again, it tests this area, on the monthly that has been resistance and now has become support. It would test that area, it would touch the 21 moving average. So that would be a very healthy pullback, because as you might, well, as you can see here, the measured move is this big move, right? So this big move is the measured move. And we've just started, started this new uptrend, and well, it's good to not get overexhausted early on. I would prefer this to pull back and then form a strong base in order to go higher. Well, currently it's sitting here on support. On the weekly, it's sitting on 21 support, but the 21 has already rolled over, right? So it's hugging price from above, and we might see another drop, even a stronger drop than we've seen before in those couple of weeks. We might see a stronger drop towards the 200 moving average. I'm not sure if we're meeting that here on the daily, but my target is the 1,400. So this might happen within a week or two with this drop. So currently I'm not bullish on gold, but long term definitely yes. So silver, let's have a quick look at silver. Silver is always very interesting too. It's it's a small brother of gold. It's much more volatile. And we can see it's much less bullish, right? So we're in a clear downtrend. It doesn't show signs that we have seen the bottom of this yet. Well, price has made a double bottom here on the monthly, and it has developed really nicely. Well, we've got a spike exhaustion bar, and that's always a sign that this early uptrend might be over, and we're going into a consolidation mode, which we have seen. And as well here, we're getting on the daily very close to the 200. So that acts as a magnet, and I'm expecting a spike through the 200, and we might get to prices of 16. So 16 would be meeting here this support resistance level. So that would align well with the higher time frame. It would be about a 50% a pullback, which is a very healthy and normal pullback within a trend, and that might be a very early start of the trend. So palladium is kind of a very special metal that goes a bit separate. Um, Palladium is in a huge bull trend. We've seen this, but as we've been down here, I've mentioned that this is a great stop run level, right? We've got two big bars, very exposed level, and that's what happened. It cut through, and then there was only a small pullback, and it's making higher highs and higher highs. So that looks very bullish. The last month, well, there was a pullback here that created this wick on this last monthly bar, and it's not to be stopped. And whenever a chart looks like this, well, that's a great sign, and you shouldn't be worried at all. Let's have a look at let's have a look at an energy contract, crude oil. Crude oil is kind of well, overall it's down, and it's on the quarterly I can clearly see well, I'm bearish on crude oil overall. So most people think, oh no, it should go much higher. Well, I'm bearish because well, we are in a downtrend. We have tested the 21 here. It's finding resistance. It got rejected. We've got a big red bar. It's clearly showing rejection, and the bears are strong. Well, for the last couple of years, still we are in a sideways range, and well, being in a downtrend, that's a trend following formation, and I see prices going lower from what we are right now, $50. That's hardly to believe that it's going much lower, but it should go below 30 and towards 20 actually, but we'll see. On the weekly, we can see well, it's completely sideways, right? On the weekly, price is playing around with the 200 moving average, so we see support and resistance up and below. And the big news we had, like when these Saudi Arabian oil fields were attacked with drones and partly destroyed, we got this gap up here, and this was big news in the market. And back then I said, well, it's nothing. Looking at the chart, it's nothing is happening, right? It's just testing the last high, and I was projecting back then that well, that most likely we will see a down move, and that down move here on the daily we had already stopped stop run levels align, and that's exactly what happened. It took out not all stops, took out some of those stops, like the first two, and now we've got a pullback, and yeah, and price is playing again with the 200, and yeah, you see, overall I'm bearish, but well, it's going sideways currently. Let's have a look at the last one, the US dollar index. I'm very bullish on the US dollar index, so bullish for the US dollar, and yeah, and we are in a we're we've got successive months of going higher and higher. And we're getting very close to this very important level of 100 index points of the US dollar index. That's a psychological level. We've come very close, and price shied away. And if this breaks, which is as well a very important high, well, then we'll see an acceleration in price. And well, having a more distant view here on the quarterly, once this level breaks, it's a wick as well. Once the stop on level, then there's free fall territory upwards, right? So the next level is 25% higher at 125, and I'm very bullish for the US dollar index. Well, we might always get a pullback, another test of the 21 moving average, or it could break higher. We don't know. I'm just bullish. I can see the potential that's in there. We might see a lot of US dollar strength coming in during the next couple of months and quarters and years. So that's it. Hope that was of interest. Thank you.